Good day, this is Gordon from TaroWorks, and in this video we're going to talk about creating new records in Salesforce via a function called field mapping. A database is useful precisely because you have records that you can run reports on. It is where their information is organized into fields. One of the most basic things to do is to add new records. Using TaroWorks, it is easy to gather information from remote locations and then directly save them into your Salesforce database. Here's an example of a simple contact record. What we're going to do is that we're going to map these fields and connect them to questions in a survey. And this process is known as field mapping. Let's go check out our survey. So this is a survey that we're going to use to create our new contact records. In the question builder, I have added questions that correspond to each of the fields that I want the contact record to have. Now I'll build this survey out as normal. We don't have any scoring or logic, so we're going to skip to field mapping. Again, field mapping is a process where you define the answers of which questions will go into which field in the records. So clicking field mapping will take you to that page. This is the field mapping page. You'll find some helpful information contained here, but since you're watching this video, you can just continue watching this. Now, the most important thing to do is to select which object you want to map into. Click the Add button near the right-hand side of the screen. A column of drop boxes will appear. Click on Object. Since we want to map to a contact object, we'll choose Contact here. Here's a quick tip. Type in the first 3 letters to quickly go to that object. Press Enter. You'll notice that there's now a bar that says Contact that go across the top row. In addition, you'll see the ID field, Use as Interviewee checkbox, and the Is Reference Object checkbox. For now, leave all 3 of them blank. I'll explain the purposes of these boxes and fields in a later tutorial. Let's scroll down. You'll notice that in addition to your questions at the bottom, there's also submission data at the top. These relates to information that goes along with every single survey submission. For now, leave this blank. To tell TaroWorks which question to map into which field inside the contact object, click on the drop box. Continue down and map all the fields that you wish. Field mapping in TaroWorks is intelligence. So if this question here, for example, birth date is a date question, therefore you are also able to map into a date field inside the contact object. Notice that for question number 6, which is a text question, birth date is not available. Also notice that if you try to map the same field into 2 separate questions, the system will warn you about this. Let's map that to mailing city. Finally, for description, we'll map it to contact description. Again, notice how the fields in the drop list changes depending on the type of question. In this case, question 7 is a long text question, and therefore it can only map into long text fields. Click Save. Okay, and you're done. Now what we're going to do, we have mapped all the fields to the contact object, and we have double checked that the mapping is correct. Let's publish the survey. As always, you can only use a survey inside the data collection task of a job. So here we have one ready. Select New, select the survey, give it a title, click Save. Save the job, and then publish it. As usual, once your field officer has synced the device, they can do that new job. So what we're going to do here is to register Dedi Dika, the well keeper from Sumba. We're going to enter the number, the first name, last name, date of birth, your field officer will save the form and sync as normal. After a successful sync, anyone with access to Salesforce will be immediately able to see the new contact added to Salesforce. And here you can see the new contacts detail. And that is how you create a new record using field mapping with TaroWorks. Thank you very much for watching. Click on the link shown here to learn about other mapping topics such as updating existing records and mapping related objects.